everyone, Super Kayce here, and you're listening to This Freakin Show.
What's up, everybody? I am Travis, and welcome to another episode of This Freakin Show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. It is the weekly podcast that is brought to you by the friends at Firepit Bar and Grill of Peotone, Illinois. If you're looking for a down-home country restaurant where you can buy a burger and beer for just $7.99 every Monday and Wednesday, you need to check out Firepit Bar and Grill of Peotone. You can find them at Facebook at Firepit Bar or at their website, firepitbar.com. We're also brought to you weekly by our friends at wearedeppertise.com. It is the only place where you get a handmade, high-quality tie for just $15. Plus, super fun fact, use the promo code FREAKIN when you check out, FREAKIN. You save on shipping. Buy all the ties you want, don't pay for shipping. It's wearedeppertise.com. Now, I know it's been some time since we done a show, since we released a show and everything, but you got to wait to have that good guest, that right guest to come on to make your next episode that much better. And we did that tonight with Super Kayce joining us, kind of continuing on with our Cosplay Series that we started back in December. Took a little break in there in between, obviously, and we kind of like skipped some stuff. We had Clint on our last episode doing our rankings of Marvels and stuff. But who says a series has to be repetitive one right after the other, So, I'm super excited to sit down and talk with her, see what she's been doing since she was on our show last season. Also, what's going on coming 2019 with her, as well as the results from the Supermage Tour that her and Night Mage went on during the holiday season. The charitable trip that they took to kind of help out people in their surrounding area. Really cool to hear from her. Really awesome to sit down with her. So I'm not going to take a whole lot of time here because I was able to sit down with her for a little bit and talk to her. So I want to get right into that. So why don't we go ahead and just jump into that conversation. Okay, I am sitting here with Super Kayce. So excited for you to be back on the show with me. Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is one of my favorite podcasts. You do an amazing job, even if you are a dick butt. I think this is a great show.
That sounded so much like a lie. it's like the idea of the Princess Bride's like really like sour you, and the fact that now you only got one host on this show, and it's the guy who doesn't like the movie.
I know, and I have to bust your chops because
right?
it's the best for me.
And that's why I waited until you got back on to let you know that the other two cool guys are no longer here. You're just stuck with me now.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll make this work.
Yeah, I mean, it's stuck with me now. It's like a horrible blind date.
Sounds great to me, actually.
But no, I'm glad you're on here and everything, and I'm glad that I'm because like kind of like how I mentioned to you before that I was trying to do like this whole like cosplay series of shows and everything with different cosplayers and stuff. We had Night Mage on back in December, Siren Ray, who was on towards the end of December. I got you on here. So I'm so excited to kind of keep this going and everything. But real quick, this is like your third time being on the show. So
yeah.
So fans of the show know who you are, but it's a lot easier for my guests to kind of like talk about themselves. So you just want to give a little quick reminder to everyone out there who you are.
Sure, of course. So my name is Kayce. I go by Super Kayce Cosplay on Instagram and Facebook. I am a cosplayer of 10 years, actually, this year. I'm very excited celebrating my 10-year anniversary. I am an international cosplayer. I've been a guest at over 100 shows, and I've created over 100 costumes. My basic motto, my basic brand is that I give back to charity with everything I do. So I build my own stuff, I raise a bunch of money, and I donate it all back to charity. And that's pretty much it. I love video games and comic books, and I'm a huge wrestling fan. So if you've listened to me before, we've definitely talked a lot of wrestling, and we've talked a lot of movies and video games, and that's pretty much me. I go by I call myself a pop culture junkie most of the time. So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that you are a wrestling fan.
Hmm.
Especially because you did even cosplayed Hulk Hogan, which was pretty awesome.
I did, and I'm working on Ultimate Warrior.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Um,
excited.
that is pretty cool. So, like you said, like it's like what kind of like how we mentioned before we started. It's been about a little over a year since you've been on. So, what have you been up to through like 2018? Like, did you go in any new conventions you ever been before? What new costumes have you created or anything within the past year?
Yeah, so I actually took a job with a pop culture event company in the United States. So I was working for that event company. So that definitely took up a lot of my time. I was traveling about the same as what I had been in the past for cosplaying, but I was doing it all basically for this company instead of myself. So I did slow down on cosplaying a bit last year. I still sort of did the same type of cons that I do locally. I always do Indianapolis Comic Con. I always do Gen Con, which is a huge gaming con here. I did a couple smaller shows that always have me out, which are amazing shows. One in Canton, Ohio, and one in Albert Lee, Wisconsin. So I mean, I definitely tried to stay on the cosplay track, but I was definitely working more this year. With new costumes, honestly, I really didn't build much in 2018 just because I was working so much. Excuse me, I did a Gwenpool. I did a Pinkie Pie. I updated Loki from the Thor universe. I just actually the beginning of this year, right in 2009, I just debuted Black Cat from the Marvel universe, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm currently working on a Ringmaster style of Harley Quinn. Besides that, I just did a couple of small anime things, and that was pretty much it. I took the time off and sort of worked the con circuit from a different angle.
Well, and that's always good to kind of see everything from a different perspective and everything. And the fact, I mean, this year is 2018 was probably the best year to take a little time off to kind of get ready for like your 10th anniversary of Super Kayce. Being like a decade going into cosplaying and everything is got. I mean, that's pretty cool. I don't think I've done anything for 10 years other than like live. Like that was about it. Like, but I mean, the fact that you found a commitment as something that you could do for 10 plus years is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
and cosplaying isn't a cheap hobby necessarily. I've had costumes where I've spent $600 on them. I always have had the costumes where I do $40 and it's done,
mhm.
but yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself, and cosplay has given a lot back to me. So I'm excited. 10 years, man. I'm stoked.
Gotcha. Is there a particular convention or something that you still see yourself going to now that you did like when you first started?
Actually, yeah. So my very first convention I ever attended was the Superman celebration in
Hmm.
Metropolis, Illinois. And this year will be my 10th year of going. So I attend, it's not a guesting opportunity for me. It's not an indoor huge vendor hall con. It's not a flea market con. It's an outdoor festival. So it's definitely a different type of con. Um, but it's the one convention that I've attended since I started and will continue.
That's pretty cool. Now, that convention, is that something that you do set up at, like you put your booth up and everything, or is this just where you just go as like a guest to enjoy yourself? Because I know a lot of times when you end up going to conventions, you usually set up the booth and you're pretty much working. But do you find that time that you divide between actually working a convention and actually just being there?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays I like this year I'll attend 19 shows. I just did my con list, and only 3 of those are like what I call fun shows where I'm not doing a booth, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to hang out. Those are the booths that I typically buy a badge for or I attend on my own dime. So the amount of shows that I just go and hang out and have fun at have significantly decreased in the last 10 years. But Superman Celebration is still one where I just go, I take a couple costumes, I walk around, I have fun. Like I go swimming in the pool, I get in the pool and I'm like, holy moly, I'm in a pool. Like I'm not working 12 hours in a costume. I'm, can eat lunch and have a drink if I want to. Yeah, so Superman Celebration is one of 3 shows I still go to just to have fun.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. Do you plan on hitting up C2E2 this year?
I do, yeah. That'll be I have a couple panels I'm doing during the weekend, but I'm not setting up or anything, but I am going just to have fun. I love that show. That's an amazing show. C2 Breed Pop has done an amazing job putting together their cons.
Awesome. Then you're gonna see me in person, so I hope you're excited for that moment.
I am. It's gonna be like it's our first date. That's how I feel. It's like every time I see anybody, I'm just like, all right, first date
Yeah.
mentality.
Technically, it'd be our second
It
because I
would be
saw you.
I know it would be technically our second.
Yeah, which is weird because I mean, like to sit there and think that, like, because I'm trying to remember now, like the very first time you were actually on the show was the same year I went to C2E2, and I'm trying to remember because I think you came on the show after
Yeah.
C2E2. So like the fact is like it never really clicked in my head that like we actually like took a picture together. I think it's still on my website and everything. But I actually met you and Night Mage and everything. I mean, obviously we didn't get a chance to sit down and talk because you guys, you're busy getting around and everyone wants to take pictures and whatnot. But it's kind of pretty cool to actually think like I'm interviewing somebody that I actually met in person before because
Yeah.
I mean a lot of these interviews I do on this show, I mean there are people who live in different states. I mean obviously we live in 2 separate states as proof of my point, but like you and Night Mage are the only 2 people that like I've interviewed that I've actually seen in person outside a couple of friends here and there. So maybe like hopefully obviously I'm not going to take a lot of your time away from C2E2, but I definitely want to like sit there and catch up with you and stuff and actually talk to you in person. I'm assuming Night Mage is going to be there too.
I honestly don't know. He has missed the last 2 C2E2s because of WrestleMania has fallen on those weekends.
Yeah, roughly.
Um, I don't think WrestleMania falls on it this time, but I actually have no idea if he's attending this year or not. Hopefully, he's the worst, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, WrestleMania and C2E2 I don't believe are on the same weekend this year. So
Well, then there's a good chance he might be there.
yeah, not to give any spoilers or anything, but do you guys plan on doing any collaboration costumes? Because I know you guys used to do that a lot in the past.
So we have a huge costume we're currently working on, and C2E2 would be my preferred area to debut them together. So
Mhm.
if he will be there, we'll be debuting Hawkman and Hawkgirl from the DC universe. So I'm pretty stoked about that. We've talked about doing these characters for probably 3 years. And wings are difficult to build cheaply, and they're difficult to transport. So they definitely building wings for Hawkman and Hawkgirl would definitely be an investment. But that's what we're looking to do. That's the big costume we're looking to debut this year.
That's cool. And how long have you guys collectively been doing podcasting or not podcasting? Holy shit, cosplaying together.
Since 2014. So this year will be our 4th year of debuting duo costumes together, and we've done about 30 costumes together.
That's cool. And not only the collaborations you guys have between your cosplaying costumes, but you I think this year was the 3rd anniversary of the Supermage holiday tour.
Yeah, so we've actually, this was the third year of our tour, our traveling tour. We did do it in 2015 as well, but we didn't travel. We just raised money and donated it back. So this was the third year that we actually toured through different cities and different states to give back to charity areas.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Night Mage before the tour when he was on. He was kind of giving me an idea of what you guys were doing, where you're going, what the plan was. Um, so since we're here at the after the tour, how did it go? What did you guys end up doing? And where did you end up traveling? I believe he said you guys went to Michigan and Ohio.
And Indiana. So
Okay.
Night Mage is out of Ohio, and I'm based out of Indiana, and it was amazing. So it was a little bit longer than what we had done in the past because we got together a day earlier than the tour to do an all-day shooting day because we were. Back to people who were sponsoring us, we gave them commemorative books. So we spent all day on Wednesday of the tour shooting. So that was 4 different costumes. It took all day. It was crazy, crazy long. And then Thursday we were in Ohio. Friday we were in Ohio. Saturday we spent all day in Indiana, and Sunday we were in Michigan. We hit 14 different places, and this year we raised a little over like $3,300, and all of that went back to charity. So we did 2 children's hospitals. We did 2 needy families who needed help with Christmas. We did, oh goodness, a halfway house, which was incredible. We hadn't done before, and they were so thankful. And we got to sit in on a group session and like learn more about these people. It was just amazing. We bought some groceries for people who needed groceries. We did a food bank here in Indianapolis, which we hadn't done before, and that was incredible. The food bank here that we helped, they help over 2,000 people a month. 5,000 people a month. They help over 5,000 people a month, giving them groceries and needed items. And so we were really happy we could pair with them and just go in and provide some Christmas cheer. That's really all that's the whole thing about the holiday tour, is that we're just there in costume to help provide people a little bit holiday cheer if they need it.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
It, it's awesome to hear the fact that, I mean, like and this is something you don't have to do, you don't need to do. It's something you want to do, and the thing is, like, it's like you're taking your own personal time out to do this. You know, like I mean, you guys, you both have your own lives and everything that you're living, friends and family, especially during the holiday season, and the fact that you guys do this is, I mean, it's incredible. It makes me feel like shit because I don't do anything. But the fact that you guys do it is it's incredible, and you've done it for 3 years and everything. And do you guys ever look to expand farther every single year, or do you kind of like have your route set and everything? You know what you're doing.
You know, that's a good question. We started thinking about that this year. We have our route like set, and this year we expanded to doing more things. So the first year we just hit Indianapolis and Youngstown, which is where Night Mage lives. So we just hit Indianapolis and Youngstown. The second year we hit Youngstown, Columbus, Indianapolis, and we hit Michigan. So we added a whole nother state. This year we did Youngstown, Akron, Columbus, Indianapolis, Noblesville, and Michigan. But we added more stops in between. So the crazy part is that each year it gets bigger. We do more, we do bigger events. Like the food bank one, we were there for 2 hours. So that's a pretty long time to be at a charity event. So I think next year, we were very, very efficient this year with traveling and hotels. We pay for all of our own hotels. We pay for all of our own gas and our food. So this year we were very efficient. We were able to knock things out and get things done quickly, without wearing ourselves out at the end, because there's been in the past year, Night Mage has had trouble getting home, or we've had to stop in the middle of the night and try to find a hotel because we weren't that great with time management, or we just didn't move things quick enough that we understood what was happening. This year we were so efficient. Next year we definitely want to expand. We just need to know how to do that and stay with being efficient, because when you add more cities and you add more states, more traveling needs to be involved. So we definitely want to keep getting bigger. I mean, if in 10 years we're traveling the entire country, that would be incredible. Like, I mean, we definitely want to keep getting bigger and doing more things.
That's really cool. So what costumes did you guys end up doing during your Super Kayce tour? I know last year you portrayed, or not you, but Nightmare portrayed the Grinch and everything. Did you guys use like similar costumes, or did you add a different costume, or was it like even a lot of dressing up to begin with, or?
Yeah, so we actually always dress up. The only times we don't dress up is if we're going into a grocery store or we're doing something food related, just because we've had bad experience in the past of the managers asking us to leave because Night Mage wears a lot of masks. And let's be honest, a big black guy walking in a Batman costume is pretty scary. So we gotta watch out about that. So we actually added a whole nother duo to this year. So we did Supergirl and Shazam, Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch, and Batman and Robin.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any ideas for any costumes that like you're the most excited about this coming 2019 or anything? Like something do you have planned that's not quite put together yet, but you know that you're going to do it and it's going to be like the most epic thing you made for the year?
Oh my goodness. That's such a hard question for a cosplayer, because like I look at my list and I have 21 costumes on it. Like I mean, like I have 21 things I want to make. So I don't
I
know.
I love that if you go back and listen to the other two cosplaying series interviews, and every time I ask this question, you guys answered it the exact same way. 'Cause you guys act like I'm asking you who your favorite child is.
No, I know it's hard. Like, I mean, I think every cosplayer. Oh, sorry, I have 28 costumes on my list. No, I mean, I think like every cosplayer is the same, where we are drawn to colors and shapes and movies, and we're just drawn to different characters from everything. And I think it becomes almost as an addiction to be like, I'm going to cosplay this character. So because this is my 10th year anniversary, because I'm no longer traveling for work, this is the year I want to dot those I's and cross those T's and get things off my list and start cosplaying them. So it is a pretty hard question. If I have to pick, I'm going to say Lady Spawn. I'm going to recreate Night Mage's iconic costume, but in my own version. So Lady Spawn is probably the one I'm most excited about.
I gotcha. And I remember probably in the first time you came on the show, we talked a lot about gender bending cosplay. You still doing more than you do? Do you still do more gender bending cosplay than you do just portraying female characters, or is it still kind of like a blend in between them?
I would say it's probably still a blend in between, to be honest. I mean, I would say that in 2018, where I only made about 10 costumes, I actually did more female costumes than I did in years past. So I think it's still pretty blending of them. Like a Lady Spawn would be a gender bend, obviously, and yeah, I think I'm still blending that into my schedule pretty heavily.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that you're a wrestling fan and everything. Do you plan on watching the Royal Rumble this coming Sunday?
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see. Well,
Maybe.
it's all going. It's all going right now. I'm not super into it right this second, because some of the stuff has made me not want to watch.
Really? Do
Yeah, I
do
don't
you
know.
care to tell me what you don't like about wrestling currently, so I can tell you why
I
you're wrong?
I don't like Brock Lesnar. first of all. So
How do you
everything
not
with
like
everything.
Brock Lesnar?
Oh my gosh, no, we cannot. Everything about him is awful. He is, what's his champion? The Universal Champion or whatever.
Yeah, which I
Like,
think is the dumbest name for a title.
I
But
think
yeah.
it's awful, and I think he's an awful person to have it. He's not a good role model. He's not a good wrestler, and I just think he's awful. So everything with him, like leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back and all this crap, is just made it to where I don't want to watch any of it.
Yeah, but on the bright side, Finn Balor is going to take him on at the Royal Rumble. So I mean, there's a possibility your boy could take the title home with him.
You know, and he should, because he had it for like what, like 15 minutes. I think he was the out of the 5 people who have held the Universal title, he held it for 15 minutes or something. He had the shortest amount of time to hold it.
Yeah.
So he needs to have it, and he actually needs to have it, like a real thing.
Yeah, the only weird thing though is, I mean, because he only held it for 15 minutes, but some people think that's like 14 minutes too long.
Some people would be wrong, and those people are probably people who don't like Princess Bride.
Oh God. Well, what conventions do you have coming up in the near future here?
I'm doing a couple Wizard World shows. I'm doing Indianapolis Comic Con, C2E2, a con in Minnesota called 2D Gaming Con, which is a non-for-profit charity convention. I always do Gen Con. I'm gonna try to get back out to Dragon Con this year, which is a huge party con. Yeah, I mean, I've got stuff here and there. I'm already booking for 2020, which is crazy. So yeah, I mean, I should be out at about 18 shows this year.
All right. Dragon Cons, that's the convention that's down in New Orleans. That's pretty much just a big party for cosplayers, just like your guys' Burning Man.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta actually, and it's
Same thing.
it is like an 80,000 dress up and get drunk con, pretty much. Yep, it's exactly like Burning Man.
Yeah, Siren Ray was talking to me about that. I didn't even know that existed, but that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, perfect. See, like I said, like this whole new format, very easy, smooth, easy going. You don't got to spend a lot of time with me, but do you want to tell everyone where they can find you on social media and everything?
Yeah, of course. So I Super Kayce Cosplay, and Kayce is Kayce. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll be trying some new social medias this year, so we'll see how those go. But right now, those are the 2 where you can follow me, as Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Well, hopefully, as soon as I get everything figured out, I'm eventually gonna have Night Mage come on my JFW Just Freaking Wrestling podcast,
Oh,
talk
cool.
about wrestling. So, I mean, if you want, you're more than welcome to come on there too, so we could so you could badmouth me on there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always available to badmouth a podcast host.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. It's like I was always like right there up until fucking. I don't know how Princess Bride ruined my life here. Makes no sense. I mean, I get how ruined my life. I mean, because it's a movie that shouldn't be a movie.
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Oh no. Now
did
I'm
you
done. I think I'm good. I don't need to be on the other podcast anymore.
real quick? I just want to get your feedback on how you feel about them doing the remake for it next year.
No, it's not gonna be an actual thing.
Of course, it's not. They want to remake good movies.
Oh my gosh.
Shit.
You're done. You're done.
I'm so done. But no, thank you, Kayce. Thank you again for coming on. I always love talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's always fun to kind of sit down with Kayce and kind of like bullshit with her and poke fun at the Princess Brides, really. And I don't know. I think that's always going to be a thing when it comes to me and cosplayers. They're always going to disagree with me, and I guess I'll just have to accept the fact that they're wrong. But no, it's always awesome to sit there and talk with her. Like mentioned in the interview, this was the 3rd time that she was on, which every time she's on, it's always fun. She's a great guest. She's a great person. Super excited to be able to sit down and talk to her in person at C2E2, as well as Night Mage. I hope he makes it out there so I can, visit with him too. So that's really exciting. Kind of a quick update on travesty, if you will. I am jumping back into my keto diet. I am working on my journey as I was from last year. Kind of getting back into it. A little bit harder than... It's harder to restart than it is to start, that I'm finding out. But, as soon as I get my mind set and get that focus in right, I'm sure that the diet's going to go as amazing as it did before. I'm hoping, not to, put the cart before the horse or anything, or, promise things I can't promise, as have done in the past with guests and stuff. But someone I met through Facebook, through keto Facebook pages and stuff, there's this girl Jackie who I hope to have on the show here in the near future to kind of talk about the keto diet and everything like that, to hopefully get some more insight on the diet itself, that things that I don't know, and hopefully she'll be there to help me out and kind of educate me a little bit more on the keto diet, and also educate you guys out there who are interested in the keto diet and everything. I'm still doing my journal entries. Not doing kind of like this podcast. I'll be honest with you. I say I'm gonna do it every week. It doesn't happen, but when it does happen, it's impactful and it's really cool. So if you want to check that out, it is at WordPress. It's thisfreakinjourney.wordpress.com. You can check those out and everything. Just quick updates on where I am, diet wise, where I am, mentally and everything. I do talk a little bit about my personal life in there, but mostly it's just to focus on the diet and how outside actions can affect the diet and everything, as well as it is affecting me, keeping myself accountable and stuff like that. To end the show like we always do, let's talk a little bit about what I'm freaking thinking. And basically, the only thing I've really been thinking about is this coming weekend, I'm going to hit up an SCW wrestling show. That's Southland Championship Wrestling down in Shabance, Illinois. Me and my co-host, Dizzle J from the Just Freakin Wrestling podcast. We haven't been able to go to them in quite a bit because of scheduling and everything, but we're looking to hit it up this Saturday, so I'm really excited to do that. Always been a huge fan of wrestling. Love the... it's always been a big part of my life, and I loved, watching it, being a part of it and everything. So I've been thinking about that a lot, trying to get everything together for the other show as well, trying to get some Q&A questions together so we can sit down with that, and also try to get everything organized so I can guest on that show, so I can get people like Night Mage and Super Kayce over there as well to talk about wrestling and stuff like that. So... not really a whole lot going on with Travesty nowadays. Just doing the podcasting thing, doing the dieting thing, just working like everyone else does. Also, I just found out the other day, if you guys remember Blaine White from Steam Hollow Brewing, he was on our show last year talking about his brewery and everything. They're finally going to open the doors to it on February 2nd, so I'm really excited for that. I'm going to try getting a hold of him to see if I can get him on the show next week to talk a little bit about it. If not, I'm going to try getting him on here within the next couple weeks, at least talk about the grand opening. But super excited about that. If you guys don't follow them on Facebook, Steam Hollow Brewing Company, check them out. Really excited. Even though, this keto diet, restricts me from drinking beer and stuff because of the carb intake and everything, I may cheat a little and I may have a craft beer. I mean, I got to, so I'm really excited for that to happen. Congratulations to them on finally getting those doors open. Congratulations to all the cosplayers that's been on the series so far. Hoping to get more. I got a couple more on the books here, so the series is going to keep going. Hopefully, Super Kayce did mention to me she may know some people who she may be able to help me get in contact with. If she does, that's great. If not, not a big deal. It's not her responsibility to make this show run. But if she gets me somebody, she will be one of my favorite cosplayers. That's really all I have for you guys tonight. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at This Freakin Show. Tell your friends about us. We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Stitcher, we're on Podbean, and we are on Spotify. Wherever you guys are at, wherever you're listening to us, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star review and everything. Help us out because I want to make this grow as big as possible, and the only way I can grow is with you guys. So let's grow together as a team. This freaking crew, So let's build this up. Let's make this happen. And as always, I am Travis C, and thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.